Welcome back to Yusuf Reacts, movie enthusiasts. I am Diana and today, we're diving into the depths of cinematic excitement as we explore the thrilling world of The Iron Claw, the blockbuster hit of 2023 that had audiences on the edge of their seats. Join us as we unravel the mysteries, dissect the plot, and uncover the hidden gems of this action-packed adventure. So, grab your popcorn and let's get started. The true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers, who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. The true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers, who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Through tragedy and triumph, under the shadow of their domineering father and coach, the brothers seek larger-than-life immortality on the biggest stage in sports. In 1979, the world-class championship wrestling company, Wuqua, was owned by retired professional wrestler Fritz Von Erich, who once dreamed of winning the new world's heavyweight championship. Fritz has 5 sons with his wife Doris, from oldest to youngest, Jack Jr.B., who died as a child, Kevin and David, who both wrestle in Wuqua, Kerry, an aspiring discus thrower, and Mike, an aspiring musician. Kevin, the current Texas heavyweight champion, starts a relationship with a woman named Pam and tells her about the Von Erich curse that killed Jack Jr.B. as a child, supposedly brought on by Fritz changing his last name from Dickinson to his mother's, whose family had suffered constant tragedy. Kevin wins a non-title match against new world heavyweight champion Harley Race by disqualification, putting himself in the lead to challenge for the title. However, Fritz is disappointed that Kevin took a long time to get up after taking a vertical suplex directly on concrete, but is delighted by David displaying a natural talent for showmanship while cutting a promo. The 1980 Summer Olympics boycott dashes Kerry's hopes of competition, and he moves back home where Fritz presses him to also become a wrestler. By 1983, Kevin, Kerry, and David defeated the Fabulous Freebirds to win the 6-man tag team championship. Fritz volunteers David over Kevin to fight current new world heavyweight champion Ric Flair. Kevin and Pam get married, and he reveals at the wedding to an ill David that he will soon be a father. A week before his match against Flair, David dies of enteritis while touring in Japan. Both Kevin and Kerry volunteer to fight Flair in his place, but Fritz lets a coin flip decide, resulting in Kerry being the one to face Flair, beating him and winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Although Fritz is overjoyed, a despondent Kerry goes out for a motorcycle ride and loses his right foot in an accident. Fearing the curse, Kevin has his newborn son, Ross, legally surnamed Dickinson. Kevin begins training Mike, who badly injures his shoulder during a match and goes into a toxic shock-induced coma during surgery. Mike narrowly emerges from his coma with noticeable brain damage. But when Fritz presses him to get back in the ring, he takes his own life, and a grief-stricken Kevin starts to distance himself from Pam and Ross. He nonetheless fights Flair for the new World Heavyweight Championship, but is disqualified when he ignores the referee and grapples Flair with the signature Von Erich Iron Claw move for too long. Kerry returns to wrestling with a new prosthetic foot and works for the World Wrestling Federation, now dwarfing Wuqua in popularity, where he wins the Intercontinental Championship, while Fritz gives Kevin the task of running the Wuqua as he focuses on life with Pam, Ross, and newest son Marshall. Kerry gives Fritz a new gun for Christmas, but becomes upset when he puts it away instead of firing it, later calling Kevin and telling him that the curse's constant presence and his declining career have made him consider suicide. He hangs up before Kevin can learn his location. After calling Fritz for help but receiving none, Kevin arrives at Fritz's house the next morning just in time to hear Kerry commit suicide with the gun and nearly strangles Fritz to death in a fit of rage. Sitting with his brother's body, Kevin has a vision of his brothers in the afterlife. Kerry leaves behind the coin that decided he would face Flair and reunites with Mike, now free to pursue his musical dreams. David wearing the world title belt he had been chasing in life, and Jack Jr.B., whom he meets for the first time since being a toddler. Sometime later, Kevin sells Wuqua to Jerry Jarrett despite his father's protests. Doris gives up her housewife duties for her hobby of painting, and Pam becomes pregnant again. Kevin weeps while watching his sons play football, telling them he misses having brothers. They promise to be brothers to him, and he gets up and plays with them. A textual epilogue reveals that the Von Erichs were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009, and that Kevin and Pam are still married and have bought a ranch in Hawaii, where their large family lives to this day, including their 4 children and 13 grandchildren. Let me preface this by saying I am not a fan of pro wrestling at all. I actually think it's kind of silly, but this film is great regardless. As always, A24 delivers another great film. The acting is amazing. The story and dialogue are great. Everything about this film is awesome. It is a bit sad though, but coming in, I knew it was gonna be sad. Zac Efron does an amazing job as the lead in this film. The co-stars who played his family do a great job as well. Zac Efron and pretty much every major character has an amazing arc and a lot of development. They also have very good chemistry on screen. Story-wise, it is a very good story, but very sad at the same time. It does have the benefit of being based on a truly amazing story of a family of athletes. The dialogue is very well written. The story goes very smoothly. The production value was good. I've come to expect a good production value when it comes to A24 films. The cinematography isn't as crazy or unique as a normal A24 film, but they still do a good job regardless. The Iron Claw is incredible yet devastating. It's an emotionally haunting film that is going to stick with me for a while. The film delves into the tragic story of the Von Erich family with the utmost reverence. And while I know next to nothing about wrestling, this movie destroyed me. It's a heavy watch that might be the most moving, profound, and honest depiction of family on film this year. Sean Durkin takes an unfathomably tragic story and tells it with needed grace. Zac Efron gives an absolutely touching and heartbreaking performance as Kevin Von Erich. He delivers his most physically and emotionally demanding performance to date, supported by a flawless cast ensemble as they, along with director Sean Durkin, commit to some of the best depictions of wrestling ever seen on film. The Iron Claw is gut-wrenching and beautiful all at the same time, telling a tragic story of brotherhood, love, pain, expectations, favoritism, and legacy. I found myself heartbroken by the tragedies portrayed on screen, yet incredibly moved by the brotherhood these characters shared. Hold your loved ones close. Overall, it's worth the time and money you spend. Judging by the rave reviews and box office success, it's safe to say that The Iron Claw has struck a chord with audiences worldwide. So, whether you're a fan of heart-pounding action, compelling characters, or thought-provoking themes, The Iron Claw delivers on all fronts. Be sure to add it to your watch list if you haven't already, and prepare to embark on an unforgettable cinematic journey. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay tuned for more movie magic right here on our channel.